How to prove intent to return home and get a Schengen visa. You might have heard that one of the most common Schengen visa rejection reasons is the applicant's inability to prove their intent to return home. When you have your heart set on traveling to Europe, unfortunately, the process of applying for a Schengen visa can be incredibly stressful and nerve-wracking. You're not sure if you have your documents filled in correctly, worried whether an incomplete document might have put you straight into the reject pile, or scared stiff of the Schengen visa interview. In our channel, you will find all of these dubious questions in regard to your Schengen visa application answered correctly. There are many who use this visa to enter Europe and seek asylum, or they overstay and work without legal permits. That's why many embassy officers are extremely sensitive about Schengen visa to make sure applicants are originally intended to return back to their home countries. So applications are further rejected due to lack of sufficient, correct, or convincing proof of returning back home. To make sure your Schengen visa application has clear, conclusive, and concrete proof of intent to return home, stay tuned until the end of this video. Welcome back everybody, thanks for watching this video. If this is your first time visiting our channel, my name is Ahmad Razan here at Persia Global. We help those who are in search of better opportunities to work, live, or study abroad. In this video, I'm going to share the most common reason of Schengen visa rejection, what does rootedness or strong ties to your home country mean, and share 6 ways to prove intent to return home after traveling to Europe. If this is your first time being here, subscribe to our channel, and for getting informed of new uploads, hit the notification bell. In many cases of Schengen visa rejection, financial ability sounds an important reason for refusal, but in reality, this is the proof of ties to your home country or intent to return home, which has led to a large number of rejections. This is because the embassy officers want to be as certain as possible that you will intend to return to your home country once your journey to Europe is complete. There are many who use this visa to enter into Europe and seek asylum, or they overstay and work without legal permits. That's why proving your genuine intentions to return home or your rootedness or ties to your home country is an essential requirement that all embassies put emphasis on. So first of all, let's see what does rootedness or strong ties to your home country mean. As we have previously mentioned, one of the very important requirements you need to meet when applying for Schengen visa is your deep rootedness in your country, whether it is the country you were born in or your current country of residence. Put simply, ties to your country are the relationships and bonds that connect you to your current place of residence. Your spouse, job, business, children, properties, investment, etc. Each applicant's situation is different, of course, and there is no magic recipe for a successful Schengen visa application. However, most reasons for Schengen visa denial are related to overstaying. Thus, it is important that you prove you don't have any reason to overstay your visa, work illegally in Europe, and violate EU law. An applicant's lack of ties to the home country is included on the standard form for notifying and motivating refusal, annulment, or revocation of a visa. This cause of rejection reads as follows: your intentions to leave the territory of the member states before the expiry of the visa couldn't be ascertained. Europe takes strong action to prevent irregular migration by ensuring that each Schengen visa applicant meets specific requirements before crossing the Schengen area's external borders. So the question is, How do you prove your deep-rootedness in your home country? What documents can you submit to prove to the embassy officers that you will not stay illegally in Europe? Let's explore the best ways to prove your intent to return home and get your Schengen visa approved. There are 6 ways based on our experience to prove intent to return home after traveling to Europe. Before we get into all the details and explore the best ways to prove your intent to return home, let's clear up one common confusion. Many people believe that submitting a round-trip flight ticket or their bank statements that show they have enough means of subsistence is enough to prove their intention to return home. We hate to break it to you, but your round-trip flight reservation and bank statements are mandatory documents and do not necessarily prove your intention to return to your country of residence. On the other hand, the documents you can submit to prove your rootedness are not necessarily mandatory for your Schengen visa application, at least not all of them. However, we are strongly encouraging you to submit them even if they are not mandatory, as they can highly increase your chances of getting a Schengen visa. Here are 6 ways to prove your rootedness or strong family and social ties to your home country. 1. Submit proof of property ownership. You can have properties under your name in your country of residence. This can include a house deed, car registration documents, land title deed, stock certificate, etc. Submitting proof of property ownership is not mandatory for your Schengen visa application. However, if you own properties, this is a great way to prove your financial freedom and therefore your deep-rootedness in your home country. 2. Submit your marriage certificate. For some embassies, submitting a civil status certificate to prove your marital status is mandatory, while for others is optional. However, if you're traveling out of your country alone, submitting your marriage certificate is one of the best ways to bring evidence of your intent to return home. This is because your marriage certificate will prove to the embassy officers that you will return home to your family. 3. Prove that you have multiple streams of income. Having a steady source of income is extremely important to prove your rootedness. Being employed and earning enough money to live comfortably brings strong evidence of your intention to return home once your trip to Europe is over. However, do note that submitting proof of your employment status is mandatory for all embassies. If you are employed, you must submit documents such as your employment contract, pay slips, also called a pay stub, or salary slip, is a record of employment earnings, taxes, and deductions within a given pay period. And it is an essential tool for employees to provide proof of income and employment. Also, add a certificate of employment, or COE, is an employment official letter that must include the employer's name and contact details, your employment duration, and other vital information related to your employment status. You can also add a no objection NOC letter from employer. A no objection letter is a document from your employer, school, or university that states that you have contractual or educational obligations in your homeland which you plan to return back to, and that they do not object to your trip. It is also known as a no objection certificate for a visa or an OC. It is a way of establishing that you are planning to return to your home country after your visa expires. Depending on the financial security provided by your employer, you may also want to submit other regular income statements if applicable. For example, if your paycheck isn't enough, you could submit other types of additional income statements, for example, rental income, investments, etc. If you're not employed, you can also see another video in our Immigration to Europe playlist for those applicants who want to get Schengen visa but they are not employed. We have a detailed video and how to apply for this visa when you're not employed. 4. Show you are participating in useful activities that are worth your time. Participating in worthwhile activities, for example, social activities, helps you build social bonds and contributes to a sense of belonging. This can help you prove that you're firmly established in your home country and you have deep roots in local community. For example, you can prove you're doing volunteer work or actively promoting causes like environmental issues, refugee rights, charities, etc. To prove your voluntary work, you can ask for a voluntary reference letter stating that you are a volunteer, your role, what you accomplished, etc. It could also be a reference letter showcasing a volunteer's achievements and the skills they are gained through volunteering. 5. Submit your children's birth certificate. If you have children, submitting their birth certificate is a great way to prove your family ties and deep rootedness in your home country. Depending on your personal situation, you can also submit a court decision if you got divorced, stating that you have sole or joint legal custody of your children. Or if you have adopted a child, you may want to submit documents providing their legal adoption. 6. Write a detailed cover letter. Depending on the embassy you apply to, the Schengen visa cover letter may be mandatory or optional document. Even if your cover letter is optional, we are strongly encouraging you to submit it. Your cover letter is an important document that gives you the opportunity to make your travel purpose clear. Is a letter that includes important details regarding your trip to the Schengen area, proof of how you will fund your trip, your own funds or sponsor. If you have a sponsor, explain your personal relationship with your sponsor and the reason why they will be sponsoring your trip. It also includes an overview of your itinerary, which also explains why you chose to apply at the specific embassy. If none of the situations above is applicable to you, or you don't have strong financial or family ties in your home country, you may want to write a very detailed cover letter outlining your genuine intentions to return to your home country. Be sure to build convincing arguments. For example, you may want to return home to take care of your elderly parents or bring a business idea to life. Remember, honesty is the best policy. Be sure to write an honest cover letter, as the embassy officers are experts at spotting inconsistencies and red flags. In conclusion, when it comes to proving your deep-rootedness in your home country, there is no magic recipe that works for everyone. There are many factors that embassy officers will consider to determine whether or not you have strong bonds in your country that will oblige you to come back at the end of your journey. They will consider your financial ability to cover your expenses during your trip, personal circumstances, travel purpose, employment status, and much more. However, submitting as much evidence as possible to prove your genuine intentions to return home will definitely increase your chances of getting a Schengen visa. You can also ask the embassy for any other documents they might want from you to prove your ties to your home country. Remember, the stronger your ties to your home country are, the more your chances to be granted the Schengen visa increase. If you're planning a holiday, business trip, or any other project in Europe, when applying for a Schengen visa for the first time, the entire process can be incredibly overwhelming with all the generic website information you need to spend hours reading, watching, making notes on, etc. We at Persia Global understand how daunting it is to collect all the required documents. That's why we are here to take the stress out of your application process. You can have your personalized Schengen visa documentation today at a heavily discounted price. One of our visa experts will review your situation and give you a list of the exact documents you need to submit to prove your strong ties to your home country and ensure you walk into your Schengen visa appointment with confidence. Thanks Thanks again for watching this video. I hope you find this video helpful on your relocation journey to Europe. Please don't miss out on other valuable videos in our channel. In Persia Global, we offer a window of opportunities to those in search of better countries to immigrate, study, or relocate. The quote of this recording comes from Walter Elliott. Says, "Perseverance is not a long race. It is many short races, one after the other." Until the next video, have a good time. Over and out.